enough of finding out the directions of the magnetic field due to a current carrying straight wire, due to a circular wire. Okay, all these things you have already covered. All these things you have already covered in the class 10. From tomorrow, we will start the numerical part of this topic. Okay, so today will be only that. Okay, there is
Hello, sir. Excuse sir. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Your voice not here, sir.
hello. Is it audible now? Okay. So this experiment you have already done. Okay. These kinds of experiment you have already done. So this shows that this current carrying coil, this shows that the current carrying coil will attract iron nails. Okay, so I can say that there is a magnetic field created by this wire. There's a magnetic field created by this wire, and so this experiment was performed by the Oersted. So let us see what experiment he has performed. Okay, we'll just write down what all he found. Okay, and what he concluded from the experiment. Okay, so we'll only see that. So he took one wire. Okay, and that wire was connected by the battery. So suppose this is a wire, AB is the wire, and this wire was connected with the battery. Okay, and also there was a galvanometer to show the deflection if any. So this is the EMF now. Okay, and the current is flowing like this in the wire. The current is flowing like this in the wire. So what will happen now? Yes, what will happen? The when you connect the switch, so when you connect the switch, so what will happen? The galvanometer will move now. Okay, the galvanometer will deflect. So this galvanometer G, okay, got deflected. This galvanometer got deflected. Okay, so one more thing he did. He just changed the direction of the current. He just changed the direction of the current, and he found that the deflection of the in the galvanometer, the deflection in the galvanometer was there, but it was in the opposite direction. Okay, the deflection got reversed. The deflection got reversed. Okay, the deflection got reversed, and here it didn't get reverse, like it was in the one direction, and when you change the direction of the current across the conductor AB, so the deflection got reversed. Okay, so this was what he found. Okay, so what he observed now, that when you switch on the current through a conductor, when you switch on a current through the conductor, okay, so what he saw, that the magnetic compass, or okay, the magnetic compass was getting deflected. Okay, the magnetic compass was getting deflected, and also when you change the direction of the current, when you change the direction of the current, so the magnetic compass needle was deflecting in the another direction. Okay, so he got two results from this. He got two results from this. What was the first result? He told that a current carrying wire, a current carrying wire, okay, induces or generates magnetic field. Okay, generates magnetic field in its region, in its surrounding or region. Okay, what was the second conclusion he made? That when he reversed the direction of the current, what he got, that the direction of magnetic field, or okay, the direction of the deflection of the compass got changed. Okay, so if direction of current was reversed, okay, then direction, then deflection in compass, okay, in magnetic compass also reversed. So this is what he found from his experiment. Okay, so did you understand now this? Anybody is having any doubt? Anybody is having any doubt here now? Yes, is there anyone who is having doubt in this? Okay, now we have to see how to find out the direction of the magnetic field. Okay, we are supposed to find out the direction of the magnetic field now. So how we are going to do that? Let us see that. So you have already studied right hand thumb rule. Right hand thumb rule, all of you would have studied by now in class 10th. Okay, right hand thumb rule you would have studied by now in class 10th. Okay, so what is right hand thumb rule? That suppose there is a conductor. Okay, suppose this is a conductor, this is a conductor, this is a conductor over here. Okay, and this is the direction of the current. Now you have to hold your that conductor in your hand. Suppose you are holding that conductor in your hand. Okay, so as your fingers are encircled, okay, as your fingers are encircled, okay, so that will be the direction of the magnetic field. That will be the direction of magnetic field. Okay, so what is the right hand thumb rule now? That if we keep our right hand thumb, okay, along the direction of the current, we have to keep the right hand thumb, okay, the thumb in the direction of the current, then the curved fingers, okay, then the curved fingers around the wires will give you the direction of magnetic field. Okay, similarly here, suppose if you reverse the direction of the current, if I reverse the direction of the current, okay, this is the direction of the current now. So you will hold it in the in downward direction. Okay, so now the current direction will be changed. Now the current direction will be changed here. Is it okay? Yes. So suppose this is the direction of current now. This is the direction of current. Okay, and if you see here, how will be the magnetic field lines be forming? How the magnetic field lines will be forming? It will be like this. Okay, it will be like this. It will be like this. Yes or no? So what you are seeing that this is moving in a clockwise direction or anti-clockwise direction? Yes. Are they moving in a clockwise direction or anti-clockwise direction? Are they moving in a clockwise direction or anti-clockwise direction? They are moving in a anti-clockwise direction. They are moving in a anti-clockwise direction. Good. So just see here, one thing you just visualize. Okay. So if this is the direction of the current, okay, for anti-clockwise motion, what you should have, that here from this region, okay, I'll divide this region in two parts. Okay, left hand side, right hand side will be region 1, right hand and left hand side region will be 2, suppose. Okay, so in region 1, for anti-clockwise direction, okay, the magnetic field lines should go inside. The magnetic field lines should go inside, and in region 2, what should happen? The magnetic field lines should come towards you. Then only you will be having a then only you will be having the anti-clockwise motion, correct? Because if the magnetic field lines are going inside from region 1, and then they are getting following that circular path, and then coming out of the second region, okay, from that point. So like that you will be having a, like this you will be having a concentric circle. Like this you will be having a concentric circle. So this is right hand thumb rule. Okay, this is right hand thumb rule. Fine. So for your exercise, just see here. Suppose if I take a current direction as this. Suppose I take a current direction like this. That this means what? That the current is coming towards you. A wire is there. A wire is there which is coming from a screen towards you. Now you tell me, what is the direction of the magnetic field? Is it a clockwise direction or is it a anti-clockwise direction? Correct. It will be anti-clockwise direction, not clockwise. You will have an anti-clockwise direction, not clockwise direction. You will have it like this. See it. The current is going coming towards you from the screen. It is coming towards you. So just hold your fingers like that and just see, are your fingers motion or anti-clockwise? They'll be making anti-clockwise. Okay. So the current, this magnetic field lines will be like this. This is the magnetic field line to this wire. Do you understand this now? Okay. So you take one more exercise. Suppose now the wire is, the current is in the loop. The current is in the loop now. Okay. I. Now you tell me, this is the region 1 outside the coil. Okay. Region 2 inside the coil. How you will have the magnetic field lines? If I take this wire, if I take this portion, the current will be moving like this. The current is moving like this. Now hold the wire over there. Hold the wire between this point. Hold the wire between this section. So what you will have? Outside it is going inside or outside? Outside of the wire it is going inside or outside? Yes. Outside it is going inside or outside? Outside. Is it going inside or outside? It is going. Okay. And here in region 2 it is coming outside. Correct. So same way here also, if you do, here also if you just hold it between this, hold it between this, just imagine you are holding a wire like that. Okay. So what will happen? Here it will go inside, here it will come outside. Correct. So everywhere I can draw it like that only. So you will be having, what you will be having now? All the points, all the points inside, all the points inside. Okay. If you have a current like this, so all the points inside will be dot. Okay, you just check, you will get dot. Okay, here, and here you will be getting cross. Outside you will be getting cross. Okay, outside you will be getting cross, and inside you will be getting dot. Like, is it okay? If I change the direction of the current, if I change the direction of the current, instead of anti-clockwise, now if I make clockwise, now if I make clockwise, okay, so now what will happen? What will happen now? Inside you will be having, inside you will be having cross. Okay, inside you will be having cross, and outside you will be having dot. Okay, so to find out that, you just hold the wires at every point and you will be able to find out this thing. Okay, just hold the wire like that. Okay, and then you will be able to determine it, that why it is cross inside and dot outside. Is it okay? I hope everybody has understood how to find out the direction of the current carrying coil and straight wire. Yes. Is there anyone who is having, is there anyone who is having any doubt in this? Fine. Now we are going to see the magnetic field. Okay, now we are going to see the magnitude actually. Okay, we are going to see the magnitude. Okay, how you will calculate the magnitude of the magnetic field due to a current carrying wire. Okay, due to a current carrying wire, due to a moving charge. Okay, we'll be looking into all those things. Fine. So see here, first we are going to see, before going towards the conductor or the wire, what we are going to see is the magnetic field due to a moving charge. Okay, we had seen that we had seen that, okay, that moving charge, okay, moving charge will produce magnetic field. We had seen that the moving charge will produce a magnetic field, okay. So we are going to see that only. So magnetic field due to a moving charge now. Magnetic field due to moving charge. Okay. So magnetic field B, I had already told you that the magnetic field was denoted by B vector. So this B vector, okay, is directly proportional, or we'll write with the magnitude only first. So this B vector is directly proportional. Okay. This B vector is directly proportional to the charge of the particle. Okay. How much charge it is having, it depends upon that. Okay. This magnetic field created by that moving charge, the magnetic field created by the moving charge also depends upon the velocity of the charge. What velocity it is having, what velocity it is having, it depends upon that also. Okay. It depends upon that also. Fine. Now magnetic field you will calculate at a point, magnetic field you will be calculating at a point. Okay. So from that point, okay, from that point where you want to calculate the magnetic field, suppose there is a charge, suppose this is a charge, okay, plus 2 is a charge, and it moves like this, it moves like this, it moves like this with a velocity v. Now at this point, if I wish to calculate the magnetic field now, at this point if I wish to calculate the magnetic field now, so what you are supposed to do, you will just take the position vector from this point, okay, from this point you will take the position vector of this. So this is now r vector, this is angle theta from velocity vector. Okay. So this magnetic field at point P, the magnetic field at point P would also depend upon the inverse of the square of the radius, square of the distance, inverse of the square of the distance from the point of the charge, okay, where the charge is, and towards the point where you want to calculate the magnetic field. Okay. B also depends upon this angle, B also depends upon this value of sine theta over here. Okay. B also depends upon sine of theta. Do you understand the situation now? Yes. Did you understand the situation? Yes. Did you understand the situation? Fine. So now on combining all the four equations, okay, all the four equations, if I combine equation 1, suppose 2, 3, and suppose this is the fourth equation. If I combine all of them, okay, if I combine all the four equations, so what will I be getting? I'll be getting B is directly proportional, okay. B is directly proportional to QV sine theta by R square. This is what you will get, R square. This is what you will be getting, okay. I have to remove this proportionality sign, so I'll be getting it as one constant, okay, one constant you will be having K, okay, QV sine of theta divided by R square. Now this K value, the K value is written as, the K has a value like in electric field, if you remember, in electric field, if you remember, so E was given as what? K Q by R, R square. Okay, this is what you had given, correct? This is what you had given. So what is the value of K over there? It was 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. Okay, in electric field, the value of K was 4 pi, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Okay, this was the value. This was the value now. Okay, now Here in this case, the value of k, the value of k is written as mu. Okay, mu divided by 4 pi. There it was 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. Here it is mu divided by 4 pi. Okay, qv sine of theta, qv sine of theta divided by r square. So this is the value now. What is mu? We will just now see. Okay, we will see just now what is this mu value. Okay, but this is the equation now, final equation. Okay, now what is mu over here? What is mu over here? Mu is called as magnetic permeability. It is called as magnetic permeability. Okay, it is called as magnetic permeability. Epsilon no epsilon, what was epsilon? Epsilon was the permittivity. Okay, it was permittivity of the medium. Here mu is what? Magnetic permeability. Okay, for free space. Okay, if there is a charge, okay, suppose if this is a charge which is moving with the velocity v. Okay, it is moving with the velocity v in a space. Okay, in air, in a vacuum, and you want to calculate the magnetic field at point p. So what you are supposed to do, you will just take the position vector. You will just take the position vector and theta. So this is position vector, this is velocity. Now this complete thing setup, this complete setup is in vacuum or in free space or in air. Okay, so this constant, this magnetic permeability is written as mu naught. There epsilon was the general permittivity, epsilon naught was used for the free space. Here mu naught will be the magnetic permeability. Okay, mu naught will be the magnetic permeability for the free space. Okay, it will be magnetic permeability for free space, for free space. Okay, so this implies the formula. This formula b would become now, this formula b would become as mu naught, okay, divided by 4 pi qv sine theta, qv sine theta by r square. This is what you will have. Okay, this is what you will be having now. Okay, any doubt, any doubt about this now? Is anybody having any doubt? Mu? Today you people are not responding. I can see your chat today. So if you have any doubt, you can ask. Four pi is a constant. Mu naught upon 4 pi is a constant here. Mu naught divided by 4 pi is a constant here. Okay. Mu naught upon 4 pi is a constant over here. We will study about the mu. We will study about more about the mu. Okay. And we will also see how is it actually different. How it is actually different from the epsilon and epsilon naught. Okay. So does mu naught by 4 pi? Yes, yes, it will have a numerical value. It will have a numerical value. Okay. It will have a numerical value. We will discuss about that. Okay. Numerical value will be given to you in the exam. Okay. So you don't have to worry about the numerical values. Okay. In physics, the numerical values will be given to you in the exam. Okay. So you don't have to worry about that. Understood? You don't have to worry about the numerical values. Is it clear? Numerical values will be given to you in the exam. Don't worry about that. Okay, fine. Now let us discuss. Okay, one more thing. Let me write this in a vector form. This is I have written in the scalar form. Let me write this in a vector form, and then we will go on to discuss about the magnetic permeability mode. Okay. So in vector form, how can I write now this? In vector form. In vector form, the same relation I can write as B vector is equals to mu naught upon 4 pi. Okay. Mu naught upon 4 pi. See here. What will be now? What will be now? The cross product, because this charge is of a scalar quantity, so I will write it as q, which is scalar. Okay, then v vector. Okay, and then r vector. Okay, divided by r cube. Understood? Divided by r cube. So where theta is the angle between what? R vector and v vector. Okay, theta is angle between position vector and velocity vector. Okay, and this is the form of vector. Okay, magnetic field is written in a vector form. Magnetic field written in a vector form. Do you understand this now? Okay, fine. Now you were asking the value. Okay, you were asking the values. So the value of mu naught. Okay, the value of mu naught is written as 4 pi. Okay, into 10 to the power minus 7. Okay, into 10 to the power. Okay, what will be its unit now? What will be its unit now? See, for magnetic field, I have already told you the unit is Tesla. The unit is Tesla. Okay, what is the unit of charge? What is the unit of charge? Charge is written as Coulomb. Charge is written as Coulomb. What is the unit of velocity? It is meter per second. Okay, then you have r square, so it is meter square. See here, this meter and this meter gets cancelled. Okay, this coulomb by second becomes what? Ampere. This coulomb per second becomes what? Ampere. So ampere divided by meter. Okay, this will be there. Okay, and this side I was having Tesla, so this will become Tesla meter per ampere. Okay, so Tesla meter per ampere. This will be the unit of mu. Okay, this will be the unit of mu. SI unit of mu. Is it clear to everyone? Okay. Now, we will now discuss about the magnetic permeability, okay, and electrical permittivity, how they are different and how and what do they signify. Okay. So we will discuss in detail about the magnetic permeability now. Okay, but before that, unit of magnetic field. Okay, unit of magnetic field. Let me discuss. After that, I'll go on to that magnetic permeability. Right. So what is the unit of magnetic field? Unit of magnetic field. Till now, we have not seen this in detail. Okay. So let us see the unit of magnetic field. Okay. So just see here. I can calculate the magnetic field unit. I can calculate the magnetic field unit using the force also. Okay. Using the force equation also. So what is force? Okay. Force on the moving charge. Force on the moving charge. So what did we write? QVB sine theta. This is what we wrote. Okay. So for magnetic field, what will I write? F divided by QV sine of theta. Okay. Now, what is the unit of force? What is the unit of force? Force is Newton. Force is written as Newton. What is the unit of charge? Coulomb. What is the unit of velocity? It is meter per second. So per second goes up, second goes up. So now this is the MKS system unit. Okay, just convert into kilogram per meter per second MKS system. Tell me the dimensional formula from here. Can you tell me the dimensional formula for magnetic field now? Yes, dimensional formula for magnetic field. Dimensional formula. I'm giving you 15 seconds. If anybody who wants to tell, its unit is Newton second per coulomb per meter. Okay, this is only called as Tesla. This is only called as Tesla. Okay, Tesla, denoted by capital T. What is the dimensional formula? What dimensional formula you will be writing? Yes, so I'm having Newton second coulomb and then meter. See here, how will I write the dimensional formula? For Newton, for force, what is the dimensional formula? ml t minus 2, ml t minus 2. For second, I will write it as t. Okay, now for coulomb, what will I write? For coulomb, I will write a into t, and for meter, I will be writing l. Okay, for meter, I will be writing as l. So I'm having now l gets cancelled. Okay, this t and this t gets cancelled. So I'm having now m a inverse t to the power minus 2. M a inverse t to the power minus 2. M a inverse t to the power minus 2. Okay, Darshan Pranav Nagraj. Correct. M a inverse t to the power minus 2 is the correct answer. So this is the dimensional formula now. This is the dimensional formula for this. Okay, this is the dimensional formula. So if I want to calculate the dimensional formula for mu now, this is the dimensional formula for B. For mu, if I want to calculate, so for mu, we know that the unit is Tesla meter per ampere. This is the unit. What is the dimensional formula now? What is the dimensional formula for this now? Yes, for Tesla, what we will write? For Tesla, we'll be writing MA inverse T to the power minus 2. Okay. For meter, we'll be writing L, and for ampere, we'll be writing A. So what this becomes now? Yes. So it will become M L A to the power minus 2 T to the power minus 2. This is what you will have the dimensional formula for mu. This is the dimensional formula for mu now. Is it okay? Yes. Fine. So the SI unit is SI unit of B vector is Tesla, denoted as capital T. Okay, CGS unit of B, because sometimes you'll be having CGS unit also. So it is Gauss. Okay, it is Gauss. So 1 Tesla is equals to 10 to the power 4 Gauss. 1 Tesla is equals to 10 to the power 4 Gauss. Is it okay? 1 10 to. So this was all about the basics of unit and dimensional formula. Okay, and if you want to do any conversion, magnetic field now. This is all about the magnetic field now. Okay. Now I'm going to discuss. Okay. Now we are going to discuss magnetic permeability. Okay. Magnetic permeability. Okay. And and permittivity. Okay. And permittivity. Permittivity was there in electrostatics. Okay, permittivity was there in the electrostatics. Okay, and permeability is in magnetism. Okay, so both like almost the same. If you see the meaning, okay, permeability, permittivity, okay, almost they sound the same, okay, but they have a lot of difference between them. Okay, how they affect their respective field, it depends a lot. Okay, okay, I want to ask all of you one question. Okay, in class 11th, okay, in gravitation chapter, in class 11th, in gravitation chapter, the magnet, this gravitational force, okay, you wrote it as m1 m2 by r square, okay, and then you introduced a constant g. Do you remember? You introduced a constant g over there. Now, my question is that does this g, is this g changing with the medium or is it constant? Did this g changed with the medium or was it constant with the medium? Yes. Was it constant or was it changing? Was it constant or was it changing? Okay, so this was a constant. Okay, so irrespective of the medium, g value will always be constant. Okay, g value was always constant. Okay, this was about the gravitational force. In electrostatic force, okay, in electrostatic force, okay, electric field you calculated electric field, okay, and you wrote 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r square. Okay, I'm writing it as epsilon only, not epsilon naught. Okay, so this was basically a constant. Suppose k, this was a constant k. Was this constant changing with the medium or was it not changing? Yes, was it constant or was it changing? It was changing with the medium. It was changing with the medium. Okay, it was changing with the medium. Okay, now here you are studying magnetic field. Okay, and just now I told you it is mu by 4 pi, okay, qv sin theta by r square. Okay, here if I am right taking this as small k, suppose, okay, so small k, this will also change. Okay, this will also, you don't have to worry about this gravitational, have to worry about that gravitational constant. Okay, so that because that will be constant everywhere, it will not change. That's why it is called as universal gravitational constant. Constant in electrostatic and constant in magnetism will change. Okay, and what, how they will produce, let us see. Okay, now if I say epsilon, so epsilon is the value how much it is reducing or how much it is resisting the medium to produce the force. Understood? So suppose if I say that Q1 and Q2 are the two charges, they are kept in a water. They are kept in a liquid, water, suppose. Okay, they are kept in water. Now, if I say they have a permittivity epsilon, okay, the medium has a permittivity epsilon. So this permittivity epsilon means what? What? Suppose if I would have kept this in the in air. Suppose if I would have kept in vacuum. Okay. Okay. Suppose I would have kept this in vacuum. Okay. So this would have a different value epsilon naught, and this is having some value epsilon. So now this epsilon gives you the measure that how is this medium resisting? How is this medium resisting the formation of electric field inside it? Okay, epsilon gives you how much gives you the measure of resistance. Okay, how much the medium resists to the formation of electric field. So permittivity is a measure. So it is a measure. It is a measure of how much a medium, how much a medium resists, okay, how much a medium resists to the formation of electric field inside it, okay, how much resistance it is providing, that is the measure given by Fermi. Now if I take mu value, so mu is just opposite of this, so mu gives you the measure, okay, it gives you the measure of how much a medium, okay, how much a medium allows or supports, okay, or supports the formation of magnetic field. So do you understand the difference now? If I use epsilon, when I was using epsilon in the electrostatics, then I was referring that this epsilon was giving me the measure that how much this medium is going to resist the formation of electric field. Okay, but mu will, how this mu will be taken, that it will give you the measure that how much this medium supports the formation of the magnetic field. Okay, and G value is constant, so it is not doing anything with the medium. So I hope this is very clear to everyone. I hope this is very clear to all of you. Yes, is there a doubt now between epsilon and mu value? Is there a doubt? So we will stop this with this. Okay. We will start the numerical analysis. Okay, magnetic field due to the straight line. Okay, we have just now seen the magnetic field due to a moving charge. Tomorrow we will start with the magnetic field due to a straight wire. Okay, so that has a little bit of lengthy derivation. Okay, so that's why I will be starting from there. I'll be starting from there. Okay, tomorrow you take these solutions of the question. Okay, I had given you the solutions, questions, sorry, I had given you the questions. You just take the solutions of that. Do it fast. Electric current. This week, electric current is the NEET portion. Okay. So tomorrow, I'll try to give you remaining two also. Okay. Total 3 I had given. Remaining 2 I'll give you tomorrow. And tomorrow, probably you'll get one more DPP on this electric current only. Okay. So solution for remaining 2 and one more DPP you'll get tomorrow. Fine. Do it fast. See, I don't know how many of you are solving it. Okay. But if you're not solving the question, then there is no point of studying. Okay, because if you solve more and more questions, then only your understanding of the subject will increase. If you don't solve the question, it is of no use. So on regular basis, I'm giving, okay, try to practice those numericals. Okay, If anybody is having any doubt in any of the solution tomorrow, these are 10 questions. You just go through, you just match the solution what you have done, okay, with the solutions I'm giving. And if anybody is having any doubt, tomorrow you can ask, okay. There are two DPPs that I will give you the solution tomorrow, and one more DPP I'll give you tomorrow, okay. And before Sunday, complete all the DPPs, okay. Okay. So with this, I'm ending this session. If anybody is having any doubt, oh, sorry. Today's slide I didn't give. Take down the slides also. Take the slides also.